Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie of all time, and I will tell you why in my spoiler-free review.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Hey guys, it's Sean O'Connell, the managing editor at CinemaBlend, with a spoiler-free review of the new animated film Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's part 2 of a trilogy. Of course, it started with the Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It is continuing the story of Miles Morales, and specifically Gwen Stacy in this feature. And then it's leading into a third film called Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which will arrive in March of 2024. But for right now, I want to dive into my, again, spoiler-free review of the new film Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The first place that we have to start is the animation, because it is, without exaggeration, the best animation that I've seen put to screen up until this point. And I know that's kind of saying a lot, because the animation in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was truly remarkable, but this somehow takes the beauty of the sort of design of the animation Into the Spider-Verse and elevates it to a completely new level. There are different types of animation used throughout the movie to reflect the different realms of the universes that they go into. Like, I'll give you an example. When we go into Gwen Stacy's world, her home universe, they use these watercolors to almost paint the landscapes of her and her relationship with her father, because her father is Captain George Stacy, and he doesn't know that she is the Spider-Man, Spider-Woman in that universe. And the way that the colors in the scenes shift around to match the emotions that you're feeling in the scene and the sequence as it's playing out is really remarkable. Like, you're just paying attention to the sort of the floating watercolors going through it, and that's that one universe alone. And then as you jump into other locations, each of them looks completely different. You'll see that the Spot sort of peeks into different worlds, and every time he sort of jumps into a different universe, it has a distinct visual look to it. All of it just sort of blew my mind, and throughout the entire runtime of the film, I could never quite process how this movie looks as incredible as it does. Like, I'm chomping at the bit to get back to go see it again, because I just want to experience each of the different animated worlds. It still has that kind of vibrant, almost like hip hop playing within the genre of like changing up things as you're watching it. That was, sort of the signature move of Into the Spider-Verse, but it takes all that really amazing animation concepts and then, just like I said, turns it up to 11 in this, in a way that really blew my mind and presented itself in a way that I've never seen done in any other type of movie before. And I can't wait to see if they're able to even take it one step further in Beyond the Spider-Verse, because this is, as mentioned, the best animation I've seen on screen to date. These movies take place in the Spider-Verse, which means that we are jumping across different worlds and introducing different versions of the characters. And as you've seen in the marketing, you're going to see all different types of spider people in this film. Because of that, and because it's animated, it allows the creative team of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse to do far more with the concept of the multiverse than Marvel or DC have been able to do up to this point in live action. And sometimes it's just the limitations of live action. Like, I'll use The Flash as an example. Like, it's great that they can bring back Michael Keaton's Batman, but it's very reliant on Michael Keaton saying,
"Yeah, I'm Batman.
yes, I'm going to come back." But in animation, storytellers can think as far outside the box as possible. And as long as they're able to bring some sort of, reason to work this person into the story, or a reason to go into these different multiverses, they can create it in animation. And we see all these different ways that traveling through the different multiverses has an impact on not just Miles's home universe, but the universes to come. There are places where this film are going to go story-wise that there's no way that you expect where it's going, because by introducing the character of the Spot as a villain, it allows the story and the characters to go into multiple multiverses, but they do it in a streamlined way that you always know where you are, you always know where the story is taking you, and there are one or two times where you think that you're in one location and then you're completely turned around because of how the story wants to make you feel that you think you know where you're going, and it's not going in that direction. This is really hard to do without giving away spoilers. But what I can say is that from all the multiverse stories that we've kind of seen pile up on top of each other recently at the movie theaters, this is the most unique, the most creative, the most streamlined, and the most imaginative use of the multiverse that we've seen so far. And I think a lot of that is because it's through animation and it's allowed to be as creative as possible.
And then I looked at my uncle and...
let me guess. He died?
I have always believed that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was the best movie of the previous Spider-Man films up to this point because of what it's been able to do through animation, but also because of the way that it really translates how difficult it is for a person to be Spider-Man. Like it taps into the sacrifices that come with being Spider-Man and how difficult it is to sort of put your personal life aside so that you can continue to be the hero that the world needs you to be. That theme gets elevated times 10 throughout Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and there are true stakes and really personal sacrifices that all of the characters have to make. Like, you see these comparisons to people saying that this is the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy, and it's like, you know, that's an easy comparison to make, but it's really not that far off. When you see the different obstacles that these characters have to get through and where they're left on their character arc, it takes the Spider-Man mythology two different places that I haven't really seen it done before in film. A lot of comic book storylines have sort of gone down some of these paths, but to commit it to film and to tell it in this way and leave it in a place where you really can't quite understand where it's going to go is truly exciting, like really, really thrilling. But in addition to that, like, the jokes that are woven through this storyline are references and nods back to things that Spider-Man fans are just going to devour. They can be so extremely funny. They can be so nostalgic. There's some things that get referenced that like made me feel like I was in my childhood all of a sudden again, like reliving some of these incredible Spider-Man moments. And they're part of the story. They're baked into the narrative of what they're putting together in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It blew my mind. Like I literally am having a hard time finding the words to tell you guys all of the cool ways that it utilizes the Spider-Man mythology and puts it together into this one unique story. Again, I just can't wait to go and see it again. And I am in charge of the every Spider-Man movie ranked list on CinemaBlend, and I'm telling you, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is going into the #1 slot once that we are able to republish that list and get it out there in front of you guys. So I have to give this 1 star out of 5. No, clearly this is a
5.
The 5 out of 5. It is the best representation of the hero in big screen format. I can't see any Spider-Man fan or superhero fan or someone who just loves the genre of animation not sitting down for this and being moved or inspired, or just wanting to learn more about the Spider-Man character or live in this world. Don't wait. Go see this on the biggest screen possible. If you can see it in IMAX, the animation is intoxicating. The story is truly spectacular. It's the best Spider-Man movie that I've seen up until this point, and I will continue to beat the drum for this movie all the way through the Oscar season because I think it deserves not just the animated feature Oscar, which I think is a slam dunk, but I think it deserves a screenplay consideration and honestly best picture consideration. It's that good of a movie. So we'll be hyping up Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse during its run in theaters, and then after that, of course, getting you prepped for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which again, as I said, is going to be in theaters in March of 2024. So you're going to want to keep it here on CinemaBlend. Make sure that you hit like and subscribe. Leave us comments down below. I want to see if you guys agree with me or not, whether this is the best Spider-Man movie, and we'll be able to sort of interact that way about all things Spider-Man.